So in the last episode, we played our first game of the season. We played our first game as a franchise in our inaugural season, I should say. And we learned quite a bit about the team, honestly. A lot of good stuff that we learned about the team. A lot of information that we needed moving forward. But we also confirmed that the plan for this team for this season is to 100% go into full Sam Hinkie tank mode. I mean, losing to the Knicks, who might not win another game for the whole rest of the season, that's definitely one of the things that confirms the fact that this is our season to tank. And this is what expansion teams have to do. They have to build things from the ground up. But since I mentioned Sam Hinkie, you better believe we do have a process. It's going to be a 5-step process, and I'm going to give you guys the first 3 steps of the process right now. So step 1 is going to be just like I said. It is going to be to tank our asses off straight up. Like this year, we want to win as few games as possible, and we want to get a high draft pick with our pick, the one that we have in the first round. We want the chance, at least, for that to be as high as possible. Preferably, we want a 14% chance at the first pick. I mean, that's the best chance you can get at that first pick. Step number 2 is going to be to take the 2 first-round picks that we have, because remember, we have Minnesota's first-round pick as well, and we want to make sure we use those 2 picks to get the best possible available players in the draft. Fingers crossed that this isn't somehow the season that Minnesota puts it all together and ends the season with as a second seed in the West or something crazy like that. And step 3 is going to be to look in free agency in this coming off season and find good role players that are on good contracts. I would prefer to maybe have like a veteran or 2 that we bring in free agency, especially to mentor, some of the younger guys that we get in the draft, or even some of the younger guys that we already have on the squad. Now, like I said, this is kind of like Sam Hinkie's Trust the Process. So I came up with a name, for our process, if you will. And we are going with #OurWay, okay? Our Way 2023. And the reason I'm calling it Our Way 2023 is because 2023, yes, sir, that is the year that I expect us to at least to start putting it together. Maybe not be, super competitive, but I at least want to see a product out on the court in 2023 that, starts to show the fruits of our labor, so to speak. Now, I'm not married to that name, Our Way 2023, so if you guys think that you have a better, nickname for this process that we're going to be going through, then, by all means, comment down below. Let me know what you think we should call it. I mean, what? You think you could do better? No, I'm kidding. You guys probably can do much better, actually. I don't even know why I ever doubt you guys. You guys are seriously the MVPs, man. I swear to God you are. Speaking of, man, every time I post a video, there's some of you guys that comment that just make my day. I mean, a few of you guys that come to mind: Chris Afro, Chris Harper, Love Param Crow, Haggerty, I think his name, I think it's actually, I forget, something Haggerty. I know Spider-Man is his avatar. And Blakey, I know, has some really good comments a lot. There's so many of you guys that off the top of my head, I know I'm forgetting quite a few of you. But man, I'm telling you, you guys, let me just let you know this right now. You put a smile on my face every single time I post a video, man. You guys' comments, they're just so awesome. But anyway, back to the game. So in this episode, one of the things that I told you guys I was going to do was show you guys our training. So I wanted to show you guys not only our player trainings, but also our player mentorships, not development. Where do we want to go? We want to go to player training. So I wanted to show you guys, or tell you guys at least, how I have some of these set up, these custom training focuses for some of these younger guys. So right off the bat, Anthony Simons, the way I've got his set up is it's under like a playmaking point guard / shooting guard. I really need this guy to start really bringing up his playmaking numbers. He needs to get those assist numbers way up, and I need him to start playing like a true point guard on this team, because I really would like him to take over that starting point guard role at some point, or at least be like a 6-man off the bench, and he's going to have to be a playmaker in order to be able to do that. Another guy that we have a custom focus for is Taco Fall. I've got him set to dominant big man. So I want him to be, cleaning the glass and dominating down low, whether it be on the offensive or defensive end. That's how I want him focusing his training. And then Jalen LeCue, I've got his set up for like a Trae Young type of focus, but I think that I might actually change that also to playmaking point guard / shooting guard. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, because the Trae Young is great, but I just don't see it being, I don't see it fitting him as well as maybe the playmaking point guard, shooting guard would. He can score pretty well. He's a slasher. He's very athletic, but I need him to be a better playmaker. So here's another thing I wanted to show you guys, of course, and that is the player mentorships. So first off, you can see that Taco Fall is being mentored by Ed Davis, and you can give them 3 badges at a time to be mentored, under their mentor. So we've got Putback Boss, Box, and Rebound Chaser. Now, all of these should get him to at least bronze in those 3 badges by the end of the season. And I'm hoping that that works. I think Ed Davis is the perfect mentor for Taco Fall. Defensive and rebounding, that's what we want Taco to work on. And I think these 3 badges will help him tremendously if he can get them, which is looking like he will. I've got Jalen LeCue being mentored by Avery Bradley. I think this is another match made in heaven. Catch and shoot, pick dodger, and clamps. As you can see, I've got Smilajic being mentored by Bismack Biyombo. Putback Boss, pick and roller. These badges look like, based on the graph, he might fall short, but this was the best I could do for those 2 badges. Pogo Stick, it looks like he's definitely going to make it to silver by the end of the season. So, that's not one that, I'm too high on. But, at least it helps. It brings him from bronze to silver. At least that does something. Terrence Mann, mentored by Evan Turner. I said this when we picked up Evan Turner, that this would be a perfect guy to mentor Terrence Mann. And Lob City Passer, Bailout, and Quick First Step. I never realized how valuable Bailout actually is until I've thrown away several passes into the backcourt on, in situations where, it's pretty costly to do so. But, hopefully he'll get to the bronze level for each of these badges by the end of the year. And, things will be looking pretty good for mentorships. So now we get to the fun part, boys. We are now going to simulate through this season. Like I said, I'm going to let you guys be here every step of the way, up to... I think what I'm going to do in this episode, though, is I'm going to sim up to the trade deadline, because I want you guys to see how things are going, and then give me any recommendations that you want to give me along the way. But we're going to simulate up to that Rockets game, or, like I said, we're going to simulate up to the trade deadline. But once we do get up to that Rockets game, that will be the game we play. That will be the final game we play of the season, and it's the last game of the season, on our schedule anyway. So here we go, time to simulate, and we've already been offered a trade, Ty Jerome for Chris Dunn. I'm going to say no to this. I don't see any reason to do a trade, especially this early in the season. And right as I decline the trade, Chris Dunn twists his right knee and he's out for 1 or 2 weeks. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. I mean, these things happen. I'm not going to blame it on the fact that I, declined the trade. I mean, that's ridiculous. But we'll go ahead and we will put in Avery Bradley. This actually isn't that bad of a situation, because I wanted Anthony Simons to get more minutes anyway, and I wanted to go to a 10-man rotation because naturally that's where we should be. So we're going to give Simons a lot more minutes here. I think I'm going to go bump Avery Bradley up to the recommended, around, 26, 28 minutes. And Simons will get maybe not 25, but I definitely want him over 20. I want him to be right behind Forbes off the bench. So I think we got 3 minutes left to allocate. I think we'll give Bob Mute a few minutes. Actually, you know what? We're going to give these to Ed Davis because he's our big man off the bench, rebounder, just a good presence to have inside. And Simons will get 23. Continuing on our simulation, Chris Dunn has fully healed, so let me go ahead and adjust this manually. So Chris Dunn is ready to come back, but Anthony Simons is on fire right now. So with that being said, I'm going to leave him in the lineup for the time being. All right, let's continue simulating, hopefully without interruption. No, I am not trading Malik Beasley. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. So now it is time to scout some of these rookies for the upcoming class, which is very, very important, considering we are hoping to have a very high pick, and it's going to be just monumental, our decision on who we take. And I'm going to need you guys' help big time with that. But we're going to scout the best guys in the draft. Edwards, Ball, Wiseman, of course. Obi Toppin, I don't know about. I'm not really 100% sold on him, but he's super athletic. He is a good player, so we're gonna go ahead and scout him anyway. Halliburton, I like a lot, but he's a point guard. I don't know why he's listed as a shooting guard. I'll go ahead and change that up. So I'll also scout Denny Avdia, and we don't have any prospect visits left now, but when we come back, guys like Killian Hayes, Tyrese Maxey, these are guys that we definitely want to scout, pretty much the whole high part of the first round. All right, so these are the 7 guys that we'll have scouted for this time around. And it looks like Anthony Simons has a new injury for 1 to 2 weeks. So let me go ahead and adjust the rotation here. All right, let's get back to simulating. God, this is an interruption every step of the way. No, I don't want Kenrich Williams. Avery Bradley injured for 4 to 6 weeks. So we will go ahead. Well, we can't even get, what's his name? We can't even get Anthony Simons back in there. So I think what I'll do is I'll take Bradley out. And we're going to grab, yeah, because I can't give the minutes to Simons. He's just not ready to come back. So I'm going to pull Jalen LeCue up from the G League, and we're going to start him instead. All right, Jalen, it's your time to shine, baby. Let's go. It says that he's got that little battery symbol next to his name, which I don't like. Fatigue. It started to stop at sluggish, but it says fresh. So, you know, I guess that means he's all right. It looks like, you know, his body health is fine. So, you know, I guess it's okay. All right, so LeCue will get 18 minutes. We'll go ahead and give 1 more minute to Chris Dunn. He'll have 28, and he's back to starting minutes himself. All right, let's get back to simulation. Oh, my God. Again, Danny Green and a 21 first-round pick for Biombo and Bamute. That's not the worst trade in the world, but I don't think I want to do it. I mean, that Lakers pick might as well be a second-round pick, honestly, even for next year. So I think I'll go ahead. We'll decline this one for now because I do want to keep these guys around at least for this season. We continue to lose. All right, Anthony Simons is back. So we will have to stop simulating for a minute at least. How did LeCue do? Not bad. 7 points. Let's see here. Recent games. All right. So 9-3, 5-3, 5-5. I mean, his assist numbers aren't bad considering that he's not getting, you know, tons of minutes. And he's putting up better playmaking numbers than I think than Simons was, but Simons was scoring a lot more. So let's go ahead and get our boy Anthony Simons back in. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and throw LeCue back into the G League and Smilajic so they can get some playing time. They're not going to be happy with us, but, you know, I want to have Simons in the rotation as much as possible, so I can't keep LeCue around for too long. All right, let's see if we can simulate now without getting interrupted too much. Pat Bev and a 22 second-round pick. No, I'm not trading Malik Beasley. Just not happening. Okay, two guys I don't even know who they are from the Grizzlies for Chris Dunn and a second-round pick. No. Jordan Bell and Matt Mooney for Malik. No, I am not trading Malik. Maybe I should put him on the Untouchables. All right, so now it is time to scout again. We've got 3 of our guys fully scouted at this point. All right, so these are the guys I'm going to add. We're going to do Okoro, Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton, and Killian Hayes. We're going to add them to the list. So these are our 7 guys, and now we can move forward with our simulation. We're 8-22, man. That's 8-23. That's really good. All right, so Avery Bradley is fully healed up, and he's ready to come back. But again, let's see how Simons is doing. 10.4 points per game. Let's see his recent games. 9-1, 13-1. See, like, he scores, but his assist numbers just aren't great. Like, he put up 18 points in 19 minutes one time. I'm going to just keep him in. All right, let's jump back into this. All righty. So I like the way things are going so far. The tank is going right according to plan. 100%. We lost to the Warriors by 2. Okay. Robin Lopez for Glenn Robinson III. I think not. We beat OKC. Kai Bowman and a second-round pick for Glenn Robinson III. And it's a second-round pick via the Jazz. I do like Kai Bowman. He's a little undersized, but I think I'll decline this trade, though. We'll look at trades when we get close to the trade deadline. And Bismack Biyombo has twisted his left ankle, so we'll have to adjust this rotation again. All right back to the grind. We're 10-33, 10-34. Wow, we won 2 in a row there. Oh, I accidentally backed out of our simulation. We won 3 out of 4 in this most recent week here of games. Langston Galloway for Avery Bradley. It's not like the worst trade, but we don't want that right now. Biyombo is back. We'll leave the rotation as it is right now. Avery Bradley, a broken right ankle. He'll be out for 2 to 4 months, which effectively ends his season. So that means that the minutes that Avery Bradley was getting will now go to Anthony Simons indefinitely. So Simons will just finish out the season, getting that playing time, being part of the rotation, which is good news. You never like to see an injury, but when you get a young guy in there to play more, that's always a good thing. Alrighty, the All-Star captain's been announced. It's now time to pick teams. We will stop the simulation and view the All-Star team selections. We'll select for both, but we'll just auto draft it because that's what, why not? And we've got the starters on Team LeBron. Of course, LeBron James, James Harden, Joel Embiid, Kawhi, Kyrie Irving. And then the reserves, Dame Lillard, Russell Westbrook, Jokic, Drummond, Kyle Lowry. And then, of course, Bam Adebayo and Montrezl Harrell, both first-time All-Stars, so that's pretty cool for them. On Giannis's team, he's got himself, Steph, Anthony Davis, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, and then the reserves are Chris Paul, DeRozan, Kemba Walker, Bradley Beal, and then 3 first-timers, Siakam, Rudy Gobert, and John Collins. So really cool, all-star teams. Got a couple of first-timers on both sides. Nobody from the Nighthawks, of course, though. Once we get to the trade deadline, we'll have to take a peek and see if anybody's even playing at an all-star level. Being offered a trade, I'm not trading Malik Beasley. I'm sorry. Another trade for Malik Beasley. I'm about to put him on the untouchable straight up. Like, just so we stop getting the trade offers, honestly. No, not doing that. Trade deadline is today, so we will stop simulating and make some offers, and we'll take a look and see how the team's doing. So before we take a look at our own team, let's take a look at the standings, the league standings, and then also the rest of the league's leaders. As you can see, the Clippers, man, 40-11 on the year. What a record for them. Not bad at all for both LA teams. The Lakers at 37-12. So both teams in LA doing exactly what everyone probably expected of them. The Dallas Mavericks at 32-18. Luka doing big things, obviously. Golden State overachieving definitely because I did add in the injuries of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I added a lot of the real-life injuries in myself just so things would be a lot more realistic and everything. So, they were doing well, though, when before Steph went out. Denver 31-21, Portland 30-23, Utah 27-28, Memphis 23 wins, Sacramento 22 wins, Oklahoma City 22, Houston 22-29 though. Man, I have to check and see if they had like some injuries or something like that. But anyway, Phoenix 21-29, San Antonio 19-30, Minnesota 18-33. That's what I like to see. Yes, we have their first round pick. Man, if they continue on this path of losing games like this, they just can't put it together. And then we down here, little old us at 13-42, worst record in the West. And that's exactly how we like it right now, man. When you're in full-out tank mode, this is the equivalent of succeeding. Over in the Eastern Conference, not too much of a surprise. What I see over here, the Bucks 37-16, Brooklyn 35-17, Philly 32-17, the Raptors 32-19. Pretty good for the Raptors, especially after losing Kawhi. 31-20 for Boston. The Miami's at 29-18. Orlando 26-25, not bad. Cleveland playing 500 ball, 26-26. 25 wins for Atlanta. Then you got Washington, New Orleans, Indiana, Charlotte, Chicago, Detroit, the Knicks. The Knicks always have to rain on our parade, bro. Like, seriously? I mean, you guys won the first 2 games of the season, and then they won 7 games after that. Like, come on now. 7-43 after winning the first 2 of the season because they beat whoever they played right before they played us, and then they beat us. So they were 2-0 to start the year off. Like, come on, man. Like that. Like, I'm telling you, they are the masters of tanking. If tanking is succeeding, like I said, then the Knicks are Bill Gates, straight up. So let's go ahead and take a look at the league leaders. As you can see, before he went down with his injury, Steph Curry was putting up straight up MVP type numbers. 32 points a game for him. Dame Lillard, same thing, putting up 30 points a game, over 6 assists per game. LeBron James just at 35 years old, still doing LeBron things. Booker, wait a second. Malik Beasley is putting up 27.5 points per game, and he's the 5th leading scorer in the NBA. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Bro, 27.5 points, 3.1 rebounds, almost an assist per game, over a steal per game. He's taken 20 shots per game. Bro, oh my God. And this isn't even that far-fetched either, because when he got traded to Minnesota in real life, he started putting up over 20 points per game with the Timberwolves. So, wow, man, the leading scorer on the Nighthawks is the 5th leading scorer in the NBA. As you can see, Zach LaVine right behind him with the same 27.5 points per game. Giannis with 27 a game. Embiid with 26. Harden with 26. And then rounding out the top 10, D'Lo with 26. So our boy Beasley is in some elite company right there. 27.5 points per game, though. So Gobert leads the league in rebounds per game, as you can see. And then Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, and Adebayo right behind them. And then assists, I still can't get over that. Over 10 assists per game for LeBron. His teammate Rondo with almost 10 a game. Same with Lonzo Ball. And then you got DeAnthony Melton. Wow, man, he's overachieving his ass off this season. 9.1 assists per game. Ricky Rubio having a nice season too. Playmaking-wise, 8.2 assists per game. So now I'm really excited to take a look at the rest of our player stats. Okay, so Malik Beasley, man, 27.5 per game. He is just like, I mean, that's all-star numbers. I mean, we looked at the all-star teams, right? He wasn't on there. Did I miss something? 27.5 points per game. That's crazy. Like, the only thing I could figure is that maybe because he's in a small market, he's on an expansion team, and he, you know, the expectations are that, you know, a good scorer will put up some gaudy numbers. Maybe they think his numbers are inflated. And also, he's not really stuffing the stat sheet in the rest of the categories, but still, like, I mean, 27.5 points a game, that's tough to overlook when you're voting for the All-Stars. Anyway, taking a look at the rest of the players on our team here, you see Avery Bradley putting up 12 points per game. He probably won't play another game the rest of the season. He's out with a broken right ankle, but you know, 2.5 rebounds per game, almost 2 assists per game, putting up decent numbers. You've got Dorian Finney-Smith putting up 11.5 points per game, over 5 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Bryn Forbes putting up 11 points per game. Dunn putting up 11 and 6.3 rebounds and 4 assists. So not bad numbers at all from Chris Dunn. If I can get that out of him, I'm happy. 10 points a game for Glenn Robinson. Anthony Simons, who I'm very excited to have him develop, you know, those playmaking numbers. But as you can see, 9.3 points per game for him, 4.6 rebounds. Only 1 assist, but we'll work on it. 9.2 points per game for Biyombo. 9 rebounds per game and 2.5 blocks is exactly what I was hoping to get out of Bismack Biyombo. And, you know, it makes you wonder, you know, is he worth keeping around? Ed Davis, 9 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. He doesn't have the same block numbers, but, man, he can score and rebound just about as good as Biyombo can. And, you know, I'm happy having that guy around to be a veteran off the bench, mentor some of the younger guys, and play like that. You know, we're cheering for that. Bob Mute, 7.2 points per game, putting up decent, you know, defensive numbers, almost a steal per game off the bench. 2.3 rebounds, 1.4 assists. Then you've got LeCue. He's been in the G League for the better portion of this year, but 7 points per game, 0.7 rebounds, and 3.5 assists when he has been up with the big boys. Actually, let me take a peek at his G League stats. So he's played 12 games, 16 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, 2.7 assists, so 2.8 steals and 1.6 blocks for a 6'4 point guard, 6'4 combo guard, I should say. Not bad defensive numbers at all. Evan Turner, another guy who, you know, like, he came over in the trade, you know, for us to get our draft pick from Minnesota, but he's been a decent, you know, addition off the bench for us. 6.5 points per game, you know, 4.3 rebounds, 2.2 assists. He is kind of a point forward, so I would like his assist numbers to be up a little bit. But again, he's not getting, you know, like, ridiculous amounts of minutes, so he's putting up decent stats, all things considered. And then Taco Fall, who I have in the G League right now. And again, guys, this is just so he can develop. I want him to be more polished before we start playing him significant minutes. So for now, he's in the G League. But while he has been with the big boys up with the big league club, he's put up some decent numbers. 4.2 points per game, 6 rebounds, no assists. But of course, again, he hasn't really played too many minutes quite yet. So we're at the trade deadline, and one of the things I want to do is get some offers for some of the guys who don't want to be here next season. It said in his player thoughts, or whatever it is, that he doesn't want to be here next year and that he's definitely going to be on a new team. So let's go through and see what we might be able to get for him. Okay, so the most interesting trade so far, Kai Bowman and a 2020 second round pick from the Golden State Warriors. You know, again, it's just the big thing with Glenn Robinson is he's not going to want to be here anyway, and he's in the last year of his contract, so I want to get something for him at least. So this trade is very interesting, actually. So Glenn Robinson, who doesn't want to be here next year anyway, Bob Mute, who said he's going to test free agency, and a second round pick from 2023 for Stanley Johnson, a 2020 second round pick, and a lottery protected 22 first rounder. Stanley Johnson has a player option for next year, but it's not for all that much. And, you know, he's putting up 6 points per game. He's probably not getting all that many minutes in Toronto. Man, I really wish I could ask you guys what I should do, whether I should do the Stanley Johnson trade or this trade. In this one, we get 2 second round picks, one in 2020 and one in 2023. The other one, we got a lottery protected first rounder, but we were also giving up Bob Mute and a 2023 second round pick. And this one, we're just giving up a 24 second round pick, and we're not giving up Luke Bob Mute. We're getting back Sterling Brown, who's a pretty decent young, piece. And even if he doesn't re-sign, like I said, the big thing here is the draft picks, because we know we're not getting Glenn Robinson back anyway. Now, this is what makes this draft pick interesting, okay? Because it is not the Milwaukee Bucks draft pick. It is the Orlando Magic's draft pick. Sterling Brown, again, no option for next season, so he's, on the last year of his contract. But like I said, Orlando, this is from Orlando, not Milwaukee. So it won't be like end of the second round. It'll be more like, upper mid second round. And then, of course, the 2023 second round pick from Milwaukee. And then, of course, we have to give up a 2024 second round unprotected. But I think I'm willing to do that. Again, I really wish I could ask you guys. But I think my heart's telling me this is the trade you guys would probably want me to do. I do like that Stanley Johnson trade, but we're going for realism, and we're going for what makes most sense for us. So I think this is the one I'm going to do, and they agree. Great news for us. So we get Sterling Brown, a guy who we can plug right in to small forward, whether it be starting or off the bench, because, again, we're not trying to win a whole ton of games anyway. And we get a 2020 second round pick, which we needed because we got rid of ours. Well, call me crazy, but I think I am going to go ahead and plug Sterling Brown right on into the starting lineup, mainly because then that means we have nothing else to do. We can just put him right into the spot where Glenn Robinson was. This is a guy who can shoot the three very effectively, and I believe he's a good defender. He's a C-plus perimeter defender, so, not bad. That's acceptable. It's acceptable, at least for now, and, decent potential. So I'm going to go ahead and plug him right into the starting lineup where Glenn Robinson was and see how he does. So here we find ourselves at the trade deadline, sitting at a record of 13-42 on the season. As of right now, the Knicks are the only team in the league that have a worse record than us. So things are going according to plan, in other words. The big question now, moving forward, is going to be, what do we do with our first round picks? Because it's looking right now like, at least hopefully, we're going to have a top 5 pick. And of course, we're positioning ourselves at least, to have a very good shot at maybe possibly even getting the first overall pick. So what I need you guys to really start thinking about and really start commenting and letting me know your thoughts on is, what should we be looking for in this draft? Because we know that the draft, there's not really a clear-cut number one, although I feel in my heart that LaMelo will go number one in real life and in this game. I think that between the pedigree, the upside, and the marketability, it is almost impossible to pass him up at number one. The one thing we have to keep in mind, though, is that even if we do have one of the worst records in the league, it is still very, very tough to get the first overall pick. We saw it happen this past offseason with the flattening of the lottery odds, that really anything can happen. So we have to prepare for that when we are scouting for the future, and I need you guys to tell me who you think fits best on this team. I mean, we really need every position at this point. Even with Malik Beasley tearing things up the way he is, he can play the 2 or the 3. So there's no one single position that I'm comfortable saying, is set for the future. We could use literally any position. I just want the best available player, or the guy with the highest ceiling, most potential, all of those things wrapped up into one. And also, looking at the standings, we got great news when we found out that the Minnesota Timberwolves are 18-33 on the season. So if things continue down that path, we might end up with 2 top 10 picks in this next draft. I cannot believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing so poorly this year, but they still, even with D'Lo, we traded them Serge Ibaka. They've got Karl-Anthony Towns, of course. Even with those pieces in place, they still haven't been able to put it all together. But that works in our favor, obviously. So our way 2023, if that's what we're calling it, that starts now. We need to start scouting the future immediately. And what I'm hoping to do is put the first 2 pieces in place to get the wheels turning on building this team up. So basically what I'm trying to say is I need you guys' help with that. I mean, I consult with you guys for everything, so why would this be any different? Anyway, this is where I'm going to end today's episode because I do want to see you guys' comments. I want to get you guys' opinions and your thoughts on everything that's gone on so far in this season and what we should be looking for in this upcoming draft. In the next episode, we are going to simulate the rest of the way up to this April 14th Rockets game, which we are going to be playing. Anyway, I cannot wait to see you guys back for the next episode. I'm so excited about the way this series has gone so far. It is unfolding in a way that is just really unique, and it's really been fun. And I'm even more excited about what's coming up in the future. So like, this is going to be such a fun series. And not to mention, in the next episode, I'm going to be announcing the first wave of #AddPlayers, and also what my plan is for them for this upcoming season. So episode 4 will be coming your way very soon, as well as another Wildcats episode. So I cannot wait to see you guys back for both of those things. Until then, I'll catch you guys next time.